Chapter 1. The Desert That Remembers. Strange signals and shifting sands reveal the first clues of a forgotten empire lost beneath the Sahara. 1. The desert's breath. The Sahara at dawn looked like a living ocean, waves of sand, rolling endlessly under a sky washed in pale gold. To the ordinary traveler, it seemed empty, lifeless, and eternal. But Dr. Adrian Keller knew better. He had spent 20 years tracking down whispers, buried in myths, stories of a radiant empire swallowed by the sand, long before Egypt raised its first pyramid. Legends laughed off as fantasy, pseudo-history, or worse, heresy against established archaeology. And yet, standing atop a dune, with the rising sun casting long shadows behind him, he felt the desert staring back, not watching, remembering. The wind carried an eerie hum, faint, rhythmic, unnatural. It vibrated against his ribcage like a heartbeat. Adrian steadied his breath, tightening the scarf around his neck. "It's stronger today," he murmured. Behind him, the camp came alive. Tents flapped in the hot breeze. Drones hummed as Raphael tested their rotors. Dr. Layla Farouk scribbled notes in her leather journal. They were a small team, only 5 people, but each had crossed continents for this, because something beneath this desert was calling them. 2. The signal that shouldn't exist. "Adrian, you need to see this." Raphael's voice cut through the morning calm. He sat beneath a portable canopy, huddled over his laptop. Waves of green and blue lines rolled across the screen, seismic patterns, electromagnetic readings, and pulsing spikes that made no logical sense. "These pulses are coming every 90 seconds, Raphael said, pointing to a huge spike. "Too patterned to be geological." "Mechanical?" Layla asked. "Or engineered?" Raphael replied. Professor Samuel Reed snorted. "The Sahara isn't hiding a nuclear reactor." "No," Adrian said softly, "but it could be hiding something older." And the signal spiked again, a perfect sine wave, a repeating pattern, a heartbeat in the sand. Layla frowned. "It's almost musical." Raphael's eyes widened. "Exactly, harmonic intervals, and the frequency. It resonates with obsidian." Adrian felt his blood run cold. Obsidian, volcanic glass, did not naturally occur in this part of the world, except in one place, a region that Bedouins called Kara el-Zaman, the Cave of Time. And that was precisely where the signal had come from. Point 3. The Bedouin warning. Later that afternoon, a group of Bedouin nomads passed near their camp. One of them, a weathered elder with silver beads braided into his beard, approached Adrian. "You must leave," he said in low, accented English. "The desert awakens. It remembers what humans must forget." Adrian exchanged a look with Layla. "What do you mean?" he asked gently. The dark eyes of the elder were stormy. "Our fathers warned us. There are cities beneath these sands, cities built by the ones who came from the sun. They burned too bright. They vanished, and the desert sealed their sin. And now?" Adrian asked. The elder looked out at the horizon. "Now the sand trembles again." Before Adrian could say anything in response, he walked away, muttering one last phrase in Arabic. "Asham's tath." The sun remembers. 4. The sandstorm that should not Beatty. Next day, the sky darkened unexpectedly. Clouds gathered, strange, low formations, spiraling unnaturally above the dunes. "Storm?" Layla asked. "The satellite didn't detect anything," Raphael muttered, checking his tablet. This came out of nowhere. The wind roared across the dunes. The sand lifted in a wall of gold and red. The air hummed again, louder now, almost like voices. Whispers. Adrian single quotes S pulse quickened. He could feel the vibration deep in his spine. "This is it," he said. "This is the signal. Something underground is creating this disturbance." The storm struck them with ferocity. Tents collapsed. Sand lashed their faces. Dunes drifted upward and fell in chaotic spirals, forming shape-swirling circles, straight-edged lines, geometric patterns. "Adrian!" Raphael screamed through the roar. "The storm is drawing symbols." The dunes, carved by the constant wind and sand, rearranged into massive spirals, the same spiral carved onto the 15,000-year-old pottery piece Adrian had discovered months ago. This was no natural storm. This was a message. Then, in an instant, the wind was still. A silence ensued, and the dunes settled into a perfect circular depression. Something huge lay underneath. 5. The black stone. The team walked up to the newly formed crater cautiously. A shining black surface emerged from the sand at its center, smooth, mirror-like, impossibly cold to the touch. "Obsidian," Layla whispered. But the nearest volcanic region is thousands of miles away, Raphael said. Profel said. Professor Reed swallowed hard. This can't be natural. Adrian knelt, brushing away more sand. Strange glyphs shimmered beneath the surface. Suns, spirals, radiant figures. This is a roof, he said. A ceiling. Something's buried under here, and it wants us to find it, murmured Layla. The desert hummed again. A deep, resonant, ancient sound. 6. Night whispers. That night, the camp felt wrong, too still, too cold. The wind carried faint murmurs. Not language. Not human. Memory. Adrian woke to the sound of sand shifting outside his tent. A silhouette stood on the ridge, tall, featureless, glowing faintly gold. Lay, Adrian whispered. But Layla slept across the camp. The figure turned its head, reflecting the moonlight like polished stone. Then it just dissolved into sand, spiraling into the darkness. Adrian stumbled backward, his heart pounding. No one will believe this, he whispered. But in his hand he found something, a shard of obsidian carved with the same spiral symbol that the desert had given him a sign. 7. The echo beneath their feet at sunrise. Raphael launched the ground-penetrating drone. The readings were immediate and shocking. Underneath the obsidian surface, there was a hollow chamber 200 feet below. Cylindrical tunnels extended outwards, like spokes of a wheel. At the core lay a huge central structure, a pyramid, but inverted, burying its point deep in the earth rather than extending it toward the sky. This can't be possible, Reed breathed. A structure this large, older than the Ice Age. No, Adrian whispered, not older than the Ice Age, built before it. The hum returned, powerful, rhythmic. And suddenly, the obsidian roof cracked. Just a hairline fracture, but enough. A single beam of golden light shot upward from the crack, piercing the sky. 8. Sunlight that shouldn't exist, lights coming from below. Raphael shouted. Impossible, Reed argued. There's no energy source down there. But there was. Golden rays pulsed through the fracture like breath, bright, warm, ancient. Layla's voice shook. It's the same color as the inscriptions, the murals, the sun god imagery. Adrian touched the glowing crack, and the light dimmed as if acknowledging him. My God, he whispered. This entire structure, it's reacting to human contact. The hum grew louder, almost musical. The desert was singing, and the song was old. 9. The discovery. They worked through the day, widening the fracture carefully. Underneath, the smooth obsidian chipped away to reveal stone steps descending into cold darkness. A staircase, a secret passage. The air rising from below was crisp, unnatural, untouched by time. We're the first humans to breathe this air in thousands of years, Layla whispered. A shiver ran over Adrian's arms. He turned to the rest. This, he said, voice shaking with wonder, is the gateway to the forgotten empire. 10. The Guardian's warning before they made their descent. Layla noticed something carved along the lip of the stairwell. Glyphs that glowed faintly in the failing sunlight. She traced the symbol, translating slowly. Enter only if the sun has chosen you. Those who disturb sleepers awaken their own fate. The desert remembers what the world must forget. Professor Reed snorted. Cryptic warnings. Every ancient culture had them. But Layla was unconvinced. The letters seemed alive, twisting, twirling, glowing with each touch. And below them, the hum rose again, not threatening, not angry, just waiting. 11. Into the deep they had armed themselves with lights, ropes, and recording gear. The first step felt like the edge of history. As they went down, the passage walls began to glow faintly with veins of golden mineral. Strange symbols shimmered like molten metal. This is like walking inside a machine, Raphael whispered. Or a temple, Layla corrected. Adrian didn't respond. His heartbeat synchronized with the hum. It felt familiar, as if he had walked these steps before. The staircase spiraled up for what felt like miles. No dust, no decay. No signs of erosion. It's preserved, Reed exclaimed breathlessly. This place defies time. 12. The chamber of memory. At the bottom, they came to a large circular hall. Crystal columns supported a domed ceiling etched with constellations. Golden light pulsed steadily from the walls. In steady rhythm. In the center was a raised platform. On it lay a slab of obsidian, carved with a bright sun sign. Layla approached slowly. It's a record, she whispered. A message. When her fingers brushed its surface, The slab responded by projecting a shimmering hologram of light. Figures materialized, towering, shining beings, hovering down from the sky, humans kneeling before them, cities aglow with energy, then destruction, a blinding flare, a collapse into sand. The projection came to an abrupt halt. The hall fell silent. Adrian swallowed hard. They weren't gods, he said. They were people, or something like people, and their knowledge burned them. We're standing inside their tomb, Layla whispered. 13. The last whispers. They turned to leave the chamber. Adrian heard it, again a whisper, soft as sand sliding between fingers. He froze. The whisper came again, closer, clearer, clearer, a voice, old and full of sorrow. You have awakened the sun. The walls brightened. The hum grew louder. The air vibrated. The whole structure started to move. Layla caught Adrian's arm. We need to go now. But Adrian stood rooted, staring at the sun symbol on the platform. The spiral brightened up. The ground shook. And the desert above them, the desert that had swallowed an empire, started to wake up. 14. The desert remembers. They ran back up the stairwell and out into blinding daylight. The dunes shook and collapsed, shifting in a perfect geometric pattern, as if the sand itself was being rearranged from underneath. Raphael gasped. The city is moving. No, not moving. Reactivating. Golden beams burst out of the fissures. The hum turned into a roar. Professor Reed fell to his knees. This can't be happening. Adrian looked out over the desert's trembling expanse and felt a truth deeper than archaeology. The Sahara wasn't dead. It wasn't empty. It wasn't forgotten. It was alive. It was ancient. And it was remembering the empire it buried. Remember the ones who built it. Remembering why it destroyed them. And it was remembering them now. 15. The last signal that night, long after the desert settled, their instruments picked up one final signal. Stronger, clearer, purposeful, a message repeating in an unknown, though unmistakably intelligent, language. Raphael turned the pattern into sound. A deep, melodious tone filled the night. A warning, a calling, a memory. Adrian listened, his eyes fixed on the glowing dunes. The desert remembers, he whispered. And now, so do we.